the chef who you know iller. Fly like Michael Jack when he wrote Thriller. I try to give him life, but my flow killer. Friends was the coke dealers, now I just quote scriptures. I'm saying I'm on a whole nother plane. I'm Candyman in the mirror, don't ever mention my name. Cause me and them other rappers, we never spit it the same. 2K's with me where I be ballin', it ain't a game. 2K's on my feet and I ain't mention the chain. Part of me has repented, but lyrically I'm the same. They can't see the chef, all they can see is the flame. Only thing better than my vision, it be the aim. Dang, you know what time I'm on. I'm David and never shy if you try my throne. Man to man, you don't really want to try my zone. They naming himself chef, you should try my clone. 22 kind of feeling like the Twilight Zone. I'm the rap boogeyman, keep your night lights on. It gets spooky like my lock when my mic on. Cause all of my bars dope like a lot of anybody in the ring for the right amount. They try to doze on road like the flow sweet. So now I play Freddy Krueger if they go to sleep. Let them live is something they can't tell me. Cause every bar horror movie, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, I'm with the chef like the line cook, I think. You got water, you got fire like a by a sink. In the spirit, not that I'm sent. Let me start spitting. Flow sickening, I cough lyrics. Read the good numbers out loud. I talk digits and inside it's all. Then you better walk it like cars missing. Better follow Christ, see through his eyes. That's called vision. Get eternal life after you die. That's called living. Dang, chef, in the spirit I digress. On this beat I leave a mess. Trying to say calm but I get vexed. I say calm but no less. Babylon in the west, face the east when I get dressed. In that white linen no less. Man, the whole industry jokes cause they doing it for the flesh. See, they start strong like notes but they end weak like rest. Get it? Weekend, rest Shabbat, decent. I confess a lot, not a model but dress a lot. Produce get fresh a lot, that's vain though. Like built dams, I change flows. Whether faith of a mustard seed or a mango. In the most high you must believe that's the main goal. Will he prevail? Yes, thou art like Van Gogh.
No Alamolek, but I got perfect vision in the dark. I'm a lexicon, I'm a megalodon, all my verses ripping them apart. Mosaic law, what the church is missing, it's the worst religion from the start. In my soul, where the word is written out, that circumcision of the heart. I'm rocking my fringes. I'm in Seattle, rocking like Hendrix. No industry gimmicks, you rappers are finished, I'm kicking the door off the hinges. Throwing stones like you sinless till you get the finish. You should have repented a minute, this truth is endless. They loving the image. I know what happened to Kim. What happened to Kim? I keep my pencil on point, no sharpener. Used to weigh pounds of tro, I lay down the flow like carpenters. She causing division in the sisterhood, I'm marking on. I'm preparing the way for the harvester, I'm a harbinger. It's a Jermaine cold world, better wear a fleece. You swear it's playing with my bare hands, I can tear a beast. Finish the work, I'm in the turf like the Pericles. The Ruach translated into Greek, that's the Pericles. Don't need a harlot or loose tramp, running drills like a booth camp. These new era niggas be capping, but they can be snapping like food stamps. The blood in Babylon can fill up rivers. For all these crimes, Christ gon' charge her, fill up rivers. Enemy coming in like a flood, that's Lake Placid. I need safe passage, never crooked, I'm straight savage. GMO foods in the stores can taste acid. I like them all natural. I hate lashes and fake asses. You're parasitic cause you got a very wicked heart. If Satan's on the move, I hit him with a paralytic dart. When the Messiah come back, I'ma kneel before him verse. And my flow so hot, or make a nigga re-record his verse.
Yeah, this a hit right here, Zay. To my alliance, I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders. The ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. It's wartime, rain down the fire. I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders. The ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. It's wartime, rain down the fire. Step in this motherfucker swinging my head. Yo, gotta know that evil for the lions and bears. Enemy is at my door, yes, I am aware. But I'm a center man, set motherfucker right where he stands. Point blank. I got scriptures that are hollows, I don't point blanks. You see, I'm guarded where my loins at. Heaters where the coins at. Bring the fat of your land. We the weapons of war. Here comes a battering ram to my alliance. I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders, the ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. It's wartime, rain down the fire. I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders, the ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. Wartime, rain down the fire.
Save me, dear Lord, if you're listening. I am a sinner. I come to you with full repentance, cause I didn't witness so many close calls. I'm near death. I done done a lot of evil, but I'ma try to make good of what I got left. Waking my people. Yeah, I'm racist. We ain't equal. U.S. Constitution. I'ma break it down and make it see through. Break it down in lame terms, homie. Read between the lines, shed light on the darkness. Try to activate my people's mind. Keep it gangster. I read my Bible every night. Lord, walk with me. He back to back in every fight. I pledge allegiance to my alliance, the Israelites. 144,000 saints ready to lose their life. Strikes with gang from the streets with gang tag. SICARRI the squad, we got that fire, I bang that. I'm thugging with HS congregation, no hesitation for participation. We swing this sword to heat the nation.
To my alliance, I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders, the ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. It's wartime, rain down the fire. I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and my riders, the ones that do the work and cut like Michael Myers. Let all reload the magazine and fire. It's wartime, rain down the fire.
You know Gorilla going Jason, nigga. So putting graves in the slave, we went with faith and patience, nigga. Esau us over face it, nigga. Jacob waking, you wasted, nigga. My AKA machete, I go Sean Kim, make it rain like confetti. I'm dangerous with these pages, I'm deadly. Tell us I go to Isaiah, pull six straight like a Chevy. These crackers can't get in my way with the nation, my rank get too heavy. From banging natures to staying blameless, praying he accept me. You play it hating, we trailblazing, racing at jet speed. Trying to win the race, trying to get some grace. Wisdom bright in the countenance of a nigga face. I pledge allegiance to Yahawah and Yasharallah, fuck any other team. Gotta check the mote in my eye before I check my brother's beam. Matthew 10 and 16, you know what the fuck it means. So when you see that H and dub in my hat, no, it ain't for that other thing.
War strategic pledge allegiance to my alliance.
War strategic pledge allegiance to my alliance.
War strategic pledge allegiance to my alliance.
All right, first and foremost, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, YAHAWASHI. All right, so Brother Pagaya Allah with the Brother Yawanathan. All right, coming at you with the first installment of what Lord willing help us out be a weekly class, right? We're calling Saturday night scripts in the 6th, right? So we're going to get right into it. So lately on the news, there's been a lot of talk about Russia, a lot of talk about gas, right? Gas prices going up, everything going up, and certain things have been going under the radar, but we're going to go into those things tonight through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, right? So one of these things is that we had a delegation of Gadites, right, so-called indigenous people of North America, going over there to the Vatican, Italy, right, in hopes to receive an apology from the Pope of the Catholic Church, which they received. Right. Not only that, they did a tour of various artifacts that were stolen and were taken by the Vatican, by the Church. Right. We're gonna go into that right now through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. So like and share. All right. Yeah, pull up the article up.
All right. So this one.
Come on.
All right. All right, so title is Pope Francis apologizes to indigenous delegates for deplorable abuses at residential schools.
So right, real quick, one thing we have to understand is that this apology is not for it's not an apology for all of the atrocities that the Catholic Church and the Vatican and the Pope have committed against indigenous people, right? We got to understand that first and foremost, because from the moment that the Catholics stepped foot on this side of the world, right, the Western Hemisphere, right, 1492, since Christopher Colon, who was a Catholic, stepped his foot on that island, man, Hispaniola, atrocity after atrocity after atrocity has been committed against the so-called indigenous people of North Central South America, the Northern Kingdom of Israel, man, right? But this particular apology is only for that of what's happened at residential schools, right? Now, for brothers and sisters who don't know what a residential school is, get that other article, right? Let's get into it real quick. With the wiki one.
Okay.
All right.
All right. It says Canadian Indian residential school system. It says Aboriginal residential schools redirects. Oh, sorry. Yeah. In Canada, the Indian residential school system was a network of boarding schools for Indigenous peoples. Mm-hmm. Attendance was mandatory from 1894 to 1947.
So attendance to this school was mandatory. It was mandated by the government and by the church. Meaning it was forced. There was no option. Right? Go ahead.
Right. The network was funded by the Canadian government's Department of Indian Affairs and administered by Christian churches.
By who?
By Christian churches.
One thing we gotta understand, Israel, is that they might try to separate themselves, right? But Christianity and Catholicism are one and the same.
Right.
Christianity being a child that was birthed out of the Catholic system.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
The school system was created to isolate Indigenous children from the influence of their own native culture and religion in order to assimilate them into the dominant Canadian culture.
Give me that in Jeremiah. Right, about the heritage. Right? Because this is all in the scriptures, right? That these things would happen to us. This is our people. Right?
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage.
Shall what?
Shall discontinue from the heritage that I gave you.
Right, read.
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Right, so that's what we see. We see a people that have discontinued from their heritage, and why is because we cause the anger to burn in the Most High by following after pagan ways. Right. So read that again. Another article.
So yeah, it says there was a system was created to isolate Indigenous children from the influence of their own native culture and religion in order to assimilate them into the dominant Canadian culture.
The dominant Canadian culture. So to become a good old Canadian.
Right.
And this residential school system is not only in Canada. They have something similar in America. The name of it is right. But go ahead, keep reading.
Yeah, so it says over the course of the system's more than 100-year existence, around 150,000 children were placed in residential schools.
So hold on. So for over 100 years, they mandated and enforced, right? We're not even talking about when they first got over here and enslaved the Galileans. Right?
Yeah.
Never mind that.
Yeah.
We're talking about just in recent history. They had 100 years where they completely destroyed the Gad. That's why we see Gad is so destroyed, bro. Out of all the tribes, Gad is probably one of the most destroyed that I've witnessed. My personal testimony of all the tribes, Gad is definitely the most far gone, man.
Gone.
Right? And it's because they went above and beyond to steal everything from Gad, man. Right? So keep going.
So yeah, around 150,000 children were placed in residential schools nationally. By the 1930s, about 30% of Indigenous children were believed to be attending residential schools. The number of school-related deaths remain unknown.
School-related what?
School-related deaths.
So how does that even? Those words shouldn't even be in a sentence together. A school is where you go to learn, right? And a place of learning should be a place of safety, of peace, of tranquility, so that you can learn effectively.
Right.
How is it that there's school-related deaths? And when you've been watching the news, especially out here in Canada, they've been discovering under these residential schools hundreds upon hundreds of dead Gadite bodies, little kids, man,
right.
under these schools, man. Right. So read that again.
So it says 150,000 children. I'll start from here. By the 1930s, about 30% of indigenous children were believed to be attending residential schools. The number of schools-related deaths remain unknown due to incomplete records. Estimates range from 3,200 to over 30,000.
30,000, man. And like I said, in the past few months and years, they've been discovering hundreds upon hundreds. Now you're tallying it up. It's well into the thousands of children under these schools, man. And they've only checked a certain amount of them. They haven't even checked all of them. Right. So we're gonna be up there in the tens of thousands, right? Of dead Gadite children that the so-called, because this is about this, what we're reading about in this article is about the Catholic Church, right? But we understand the Catholic Church, it really just, when you see that, you should just see so-called white men, right? The Edomite that the Bible speaks of, because that's who's the head of this during all of these atrocities, man, right? So let's go back to the article, Bible Show. Right, so keep that in mind. So this apology is for this specific atrocity. It's not for all the atrocities that took place on the Caribbean islands in South Central America, right?
So play the video or just read?
Just keep going. Keep reading.
See, look at that warning. This story contains distressful details.
Right.
It says Pope Francis has apologized for the conduct of some members of the Roman Catholic Church in Canada's residential school system. Following a week of talks with First Nations, Inuit and Métis delegations, the delegates had gathered for a final and public audience with the Pope at the Vatican on Friday as Francis spoke of feeling sorrow and shame for the conduct of those who ran the schools.
So now, hold on. So now the Pope feels sorrow and shame, and the scriptures speak about this as well. Give me Obadiah, the 10th verse, right?
This is Obadiah chapter 1 verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Because once again, we're speaking about the Catholic Church, the entity, the Catholic Church, but we have to always keep in mind that the main culprit of this is the so-called white man, the Edomite that the Bible speaks of. Right. And Obadiah, the prophet of the Lord, is saying, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Who is the brother of Jacob? Esau, the Edomites. That is our long-lost evil twin brother, man. Right? So for the violence against thy brother Jacob, read.
For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
Shame shall cover thee, right? And that's what we see, the so-called white man feeling shame. We see this every time we go out into the highways and byways, man. Every time we go out there, we talk about these things and we see the shame, and we can tell the shame in the majority of these so-called white people, these Edomites' eyes, and then what they say to us, man. Of course, you get the proud devil that loves it, that relics in it, that romanticizes it, right? That wants to bring America back to its greatness. What does it make America great again? Make Canada great again, right? But you see a lot of these so-called white people, they feel that shame, right? Because you understand that what you did to us was atrocious, man, right? And this is just one instance of the atrocities that you committed against us, man. One instance for one part of the nation, the Northern Kingdom. Right, mostly dealing with Gad and Reuben, so-called Seminole Indian. That's not even talking about the Southern Kingdom, what you did to them, right? And for that very reason, Obadiah, in the Spirit of the Lord, said, "You shall be cut off, man." Right, and you should be cut off, and you will be cut off, right? So go back to that. Keep reading the article about the show.
It says the delegates had gathered. Oh, Slakia. It says, I also feel sorrow and shame for the role that a number of Catholics, particularly those with educational responsibilities, have had in all these things that wounded you, and the abuses you suffered and the lack of respect shown for your identity, your culture, and even your spiritual values, he said. For the deplorable conduct of these members of the Catholic Church, I ask for God's forgiveness.
He asked for what?
I ask for God's forgiveness.
Right.
And I want to say to you with all my heart, I am very sorry. And I join my brothers, the Canadian bishops, in asking your pardon.
So he asked for the Lord's forgiveness.
Yeah.
And also for the forgiveness of the indigenous people, man, the delegates that came, and I'm sure the rest of the indigenous population, right?
Right.
And what we're going to find out, and what they will eventually find out, is that the Lord is not going to forgive a damn thing that you did, man.
Right.
Right? Give me Nahum. Right? Give me Nahum chapter 1. You're going to read 3.
Okay, this is the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 1 through 3.
No, read verse 3.
Also like it. Nahum chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power.
The Lord is slow to anger, man, and great in power. The Lord is so slow in anger that you committed these things,
Right.
and the Lord allowed you to continue building up your nation and your empire, man.
Right.
Right? Keep going.
And will not at all acquit the wicked.
But the Lord will not at all acquit the wicked, man. There's no way that you're going to get off from this, man.
Right.
You put your hands on the Lord's, the apple of his eye, his children, his firstborn, his special child.
Yep.
Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right, read.
And will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm.
And so you can read from 2. Read 2.
Come, Nahum chapter 1, verse 2. God is jealous, and the Lord revenges.
The Lord what?
The Lord revenges.
See, this God that the Catholic Church has painted, they have to paint this God, right?
Right.
If you're an entity and a part of a people group that has gone throughout the earth raping, robbing, and murdering and enslaving and committing all acts of wickedness, you have to make a God up that just forgives everything no matter what, and forgives everyone no matter what.
Right.
You have to make up that God.
Right.
But all praises to YAHWASHI, his words stand still and stand strong to this very day, man, and has not been tainted by you so-called Edomites, man.
Right.
Because we see that the Lord is slow to anger and the Lord revengeth. Right, read?
Right. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies.
He's going to take vengeance on his adversaries. And when you read that word, when you look into the word adversary, right? People will say, oh, why do you call the white man the devil? Right? When you look at that word, another word for devil is Satan.
Right.
And when you look at that word in the Hebrew, adversary, it's Hashatan.
Right.
So that's why we call him the devil, because he is our adversary. He is adverse to us. He is adverse to the Most High God that we serve.
Right.
So he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
That's right.
Right? But with that in mind, right, he reserveth wrath for his enemies. Now, who are the enemies of God? Get Psalm 83, right?
Come on, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 83, verse 1.
Right, go ahead.
Keep not thou silent, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
This is what Pope Francis wants, man. This is what the Catholics and all the Christians want. They want God to be silent.
Right.
They want him to be still. They don't want him to move against the wicked, because they are the wicked.
Right.
Right, read?
Keep not thou silent, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
Right, read?
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy what?
Thy enemies make a tumult.
They make a tumult, read?
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
The head?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And that's what this residential school system is.
Right.
This residential school system was a crafty counsel against God's chosen people, the indigenous people of North America, man.
Right.
Right? Keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Right, read?
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being what?
Being a nation.
And this is what they did. We read it.
Yeah.
They wanted them to cease from being their own thing, right? And they wanted to assimilate them into Canadian culture,
right?
The white man's culture. White supremacy, man. That's what they want. This is what they want us to be a part of. That's why these Christians push Christianity so much, because Christianity is nothing more than a white supremacist cult.
Right.
Right? That's why they got you praying to white Caesar Borgia. That's why they have that anti-Semitic replacement theology doctrine.
Right.
Right? That's all white supremacy, man. Right, read?
Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right, and they don't want the name of Israel to be no more in remembrance. And we're gonna get further into the article, and you're gonna see that the so-called white man is such a proud bastard and a piece of garbage that he parades the things that he stole, the artifacts, the ancient relics that he stole from the tribe of Gad. He parades Gad in front of them and has him walk through a museum with all the things that he stole, and doesn't even let them take anything, and doesn't even let them see the entirety of the collection of things that they stole. Why? Because a lot of that collection, I'm gonna say, right now, I can't say for sure, but I'm almost certain that a lot of that collection proves that the indigenous people of North America are Israelites. And there's one picture that we're gonna get into, right? That you'll see why I say that, right? But go ahead, read that. Read verse 4 again.
Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right, read.
For they have consulted together with one consent, and they are confederate against thee.
Right, read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom, and that's who this devil is right here. That's who this Catholic church, this Christian church, all of these people have one thing in common. They are all the Edomites that the Bible speaks of, man. They are the children of Esau, Edom, right? But drop that out. Go back to the article.
So, we read that. All right, so that's the video. It says, Francis also said he hoped to visit Canada in the days around the church's feast of St. Anne, which falls on July 22nd. Dene National Chief Gerald Antoine, one of the lead delegates.
So now, right now, this is one of the delegates, a Gadite that was there, that's about to speak, right? Go ahead.
Compared hearing the apology to the experience of walking through the snow and seeing fresh moose tracks.
No, that's the most Gadite thing I've ever heard in my life. But right, keep going.
It says, that is the feeling that I have because there is a possibility, he said moments after the apology.
Right, so Gad was happy, man. Gad was happy. Gad was ecstatic. Right, he compared it to seeing fresh moose tracks in the snow. Right, keep going.
Right, he said moments after the apology, today is a day that we've been waiting for, and certainly one that will be uplifted in our history.
And honestly, like this is the type of thinking that really leads me to prove. And understand this: being up here in Canada, I've been to powwows. Right, I've dealt with a lot of brothers that are Gadites, and the majority consensus of the so-called leaders, the chiefs, the so-called elders, is that they are nothing more but sellouts. Just like the leaders of the so-called Black and Hispanic community, the leaders of the indigenous community, a lot of them are sellouts. A lot of them get to that point where they are, and they're upheld by Esau as one of our leaders because they're sellouts, man. Right. For this to be a moment of happiness and upliftment, you got walked through a museum with all of your stolen artifacts in there, and they said no, you can't have them. But we'll say sorry to you, man. How is this something that will uplift you? How is this something that you're happy about, man? But it's because, once again, the reason that happened to you is because you forsook the laws of God, you forsook the word of God, and once again, you're continuing to forsake the word of God and your happiness for nothing but mere words. Right? Give me 1 John 3:18.
1 John chapter 3, verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue.
Right? Let us not love in word or tongue. That's how the so-called white man got y'all in the first place, man.
Right.
With his word and his tongue, which we're going to get into in a moment. Right? He humbled himself to you and he said, oh, teach me how to survive out here. You guys know how to survive out here. And what did he give you? Right. Smallpox blankets in return, man. Right? How much longer are you going to just believe the words that come out of this devil's mouth, man? Right, Reed?
But indeed and in truth.
I would have had better things to say for y'all if y'all came back with those damn artifacts, man.
Right.
If y'all would have came back with the artifacts and you would have said you're happy, I wouldn't even have much to say about it.
Right.
Because you came back with something. There's something concrete. You have something. But you didn't get nothing but words, man. Right? Give me Isaiah 3:12. Right? And that's why these people are not fit to lead, man. These people are not fit to lead this nation. That's why the Most High is setting up 144,000 men that want action rather than words, man. Right. So what you got?
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
And this is the state that we see all of these communities, man, Black, Hispanic, and indigenous communities. Children, little kids oppress these communities, man.
Right.
Little niggas, little spicks, little damn little redskins running around with guns, running around with knives, terrorizing their neighborhoods, man, oppressing their people, right, Reed? And women ruling over these households, single mother homes, rampant throughout all three of these communities.
Right,
Reed?
Oh, my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
They which lead thee cause thee to err, man. And those that lead us are who? Our religious leaders, right? Our political leaders, All of these people cause us to err. Why? Because all they want us to do is love the white man, love Canada, love America, and just join onto it, man. Right. That's all they want, and they cause us to err. Like I said, the Most High is raising up 144,000 men that will have us forsake this place, forsake the white man, and come back to our God and our King Yahawashi Mashiach, man. Right. So keep going.
It says, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. Verse 13. The Lord standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, and the princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard, and spoil of the poor is in your houses.
Right, and that's what you'll find with every single, with these three communities. When you look at the Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous community, the leaders of these people, the elders, the people who are supposed to be protecting us, supposed to be the hedge, the gate, all of these things to us, they do nothing but oppress us and spoil us, man.
Right.
On behalf of the so-called white man, or on behalf of their own bellies, man. Right. Give me Isaiah 56 and 10.
This is Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. It says, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, and they are all dumb dogs.
They are all blind, ignorant, and they're dumb dogs. Because if you can't see the disrespect in having you walk through a museum with all of the things that they stole from your ancestors and still talk about this is an uplifting moment in our history, you're blind, man, and you're a dumb dog. Read.
Right. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber.
Loving to slumber, right? Read.
Verse 11. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter.
And that's a fact for, once again, all across the board, Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous people as well. That's who our leaders are. Dumb dogs that look for their own bellies, man. Go back to the article. Try to find where it says the Inuit delegation had also been pushing, right? Right there.
Yeah. It says the Inuit delegation had also been pushing for the church to intervene in the case of fugitive oblate priests wanted in Canada for sex crimes.
Wanted for what?
Sex crimes.
So the Inuit tribes were asking for the church to intervene in a case of a man that was committing sex crimes in these residential schools, man. Did they get that? No, they didn't get that. So not only can you not give back the items you stole, you won't even help us get a sex offender. Right? But this is an uplifting moment for our people. This is a spit in the face of our people, man. Right.
And the First Nation delegates also urged the Pope to revoke centuries-old papal decrees used to justify the seizure of indigenous land in the Americas by colonial powers.
So what does that mean? That means the church still holds land in North America. South America, I'm sure, and Central America, I'm sure as well. But what we're talking about here is North America. They still own land, man.
Right.
And they wouldn't even give that back.
Right.
But this is an uplifting moment. Right? Keep going.
Indigenous representatives have also been pushing the church to fulfill its compensation promises to residential school survivors and return indigenous cultural artifacts.
So that there goes those artifacts, which they did not get. They didn't even let them see all of the artifacts. Let alone take some home, take all of them home. They didn't even get to see all of them, right? So give me Psalm 55, man. Right? So all we see is, like we usually see from the so-called white man, lip service with no action, man. Right? So give me that.
This is Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his... Verse 20. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant.
He has broken his covenant, man. The so-called white man, with the indigenous people made treaties, and they broke every single one of them, man. And here you see there were promises made, there were things that were said that will happen, and nothing happened. Nothing more than a damn apology, man, an empty apology. Because let you have it, right? You're being an asshole to your wife, right? And you apologize to her, but you just keep being an asshole.
Right.
What is the sense in apologizing?
Right, exactly.
If there's no action behind the apology is empty, man. Right? But read that.
Right. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Right. The white man has a way with words, especially with the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native men. The white man knows how to calm you and put you guys to sleep, man.
Right.
Right. But we've heard a song in the scriptures, right? He said you should sing a new song. We heard that song. We said to hell with the white man and his song, man. To hell with the white man and his lullaby, man,
right.
and his lies. Right now, every time I can speak for myself personally. Every time a white man speaks, I'm looking at him sideways, man. I'm looking at him like he's lying to me.
Yeah.
I don't believe a goddamn thing they say to me. Right? Keep going.
His words were softer than oil. Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. Read.
Verse 22. Cast thy burden upon the Lord.
And that's what you so-called indigenous people need to do, man. And you blacks and Hispanics. You need to cast your burdens on the Lord. You don't need to be going to no damn Italy to have this devil say sorry to you, man, and try to get you your things back, right? You need to serve the Most High God. You need to apologize to the Most High God, man, for following these people in the first place, and repent and come back to him. And he will send a righteous and mighty king to avenge you and your people and to get those artifacts back, man. The scriptures speak about us getting the glory of the Gentiles, man.
Right.
The riches of the Gentiles. Right, read?
It says, and he shall sustain thee.
And he shall what?
He shall sustain thee.
He shall sustain you. Because guess what? Right? I'm reading right here on the article. It says, today's apology will resurface strong emotions of hurt and trauma for many. And the white man saying sorry to you is not going to make you feel better. It might be a temporary little upliftment, but at the end of the day, you're going to go back to your reservation where there's no damn clean water, where they're pushing to take more of it to build a damn pipeline, and you're still going to be in pain, man. You're still going to be suffering. So the damn apology is not going to be a goddamn thing, man.
I got a precept.
Right, go ahead.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 30. And spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
And that's what they do, man. They speak peace, and then they come and destroy it. That's what they did initially when they first came here.
Right.
They talked about peace, teach us how to live. Then they gave the smallpox blankets, man.
Right.
Then they start pinning us against one another, man.
Yeah.
Right? So the white man is the devil. He's a liar. He's the adversary. He's all of these things, man. And we're not to look to him to uplift us and to make us better. Read that again in Psalm. The last one, 22.
Psalm 55 and 22. It says, he shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
55 and 22.
Cast thy burden upon the Lord.
Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, not upon the white man. All right, read.
And he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved.
Right, and that's what we need to do. All right. Give me Sirach 12. Right.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10.
Right, read.
It says, never trust thine enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. And had y'all, of course, we understand there's no free will, right? Everything was predetermined and predestined. The Lord established the end from the beginning. We understand that. But had y'all never trust thine enemies, had the Lord had it set up that way that you would never trust your enemy, we wouldn't be here, man.
Right.
Had y'all just gave them back, had y'all just rejected those smallpox blankets and just murdered every single Edomite that got off a boat, y'all would have been straight, man.
Right.
But y'all trusted your enemy, right, Reed?
Right. It says, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
And you Gadites of all tribes, like all the tribes should be able to see this for real. But the Gadite, man, like we said, there's hundreds upon hundreds of treaties that this devil has broken, man.
Right.
How is it that you still trust him? Look, we go to camp, when we go camp downtown, right? Because we go to Scarborough and sometimes we go downtown. When we go downtown, the Gadites are over there protesting every single week. And you know what I always notice about the Gadites protesting? They come up to us and they cheer when we talk about the white man.
Right.
They cheer and they say we're right and we're with you guys. But then they go and they hold hands with the white man on the other side of the street. And that's when I say, see that what they're doing right there, that will never work. How are you gonna give me you know where it says a clean thing in Sirach? How can a clean thing?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. How can you try to uplift yourself with the people that have been downtrodden you for hundreds of years, man? How can you try to be one with the people that are destroying you, man? And then give me that in Ezra. You know what Ezra, where it says when they wanted to come build the wall with us?
Yeah, oh, I got that which is crooked cannot be made straight. No, I don't know where one is.
Give me the Ezra one first. I'll find the other one.
All right, calm.
$34 and $14. Sirach.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 34, verse 14. And it reads, whoso feareth the Lord, no, Sirach, you said Sirach
34 and 4.
Or 4, con. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that which is false, what truth can come?
What truth can come from them who are false, man? And that's the so-called white man has been dealt with us falsely since we met him, man. Again, on this side of the world, this hemisphere, man.
Right.
He's dealt falsely with us. You got that in Ezra?
Let me get it right now.
4 and 2.
It's the book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
It reads, and it reads, they that came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you.
Let us what?
Let us build with you.
Right, this is what these Edomites said to these Gadites, man, that we see over there in Dundas Square, the screen. Right? This is what they told the southern kingdom when they were building the temple. Same thing, man. And this is what we, not only do they say to these Gadites let them come and build with them. We get that a lot too. When we're at camp, I know brothers at camp know about this. When you're at camp and a so-called white man or a damn heathen comes and says, well, I just want to help you guys out. How can I be a part of it?
Right.
You can't be a part of it, man.
That's right.
You've been a part of our destruction. So you cannot be a part of our raising up and our building and our edifying, man. Right? Read that.
For we seek your God as ye do.
Right.
And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon.
Right. We've heard this whole spiel before.
Right.
We want to worship God. We want to follow after Israel. Right, read?
Right. Which brought us up hither.
Mm-hmm.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them.
See, this is what the chief of the fathers of Israel said. The righteous chiefs, not the sellout chiefs and elders. This is what righteous holy men of God said to heathens that wanted to help the Israelites build. What did they say?
Right. Ye have nothing to do with us.
And that's what we tell these heathens every time they say anything like that to us. You have nothing to do with us, man.
Right.
Right? And this is what we try to tell our brothers at the Gadites that be protesting every week over there with the Edomites. These people have nothing to do with us, man.
Right.
There's no way they can help us uplift ourselves. We need to help ourselves, man. Right? Read that again.
Verse 3, but Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our God.
And that's what we're doing over here, man. We're building a house, a spiritual temple.
Right.
Every repentant Israelite being a part of that spiritual temple, man. And moreover, every repented Israelite man being a part of that 144,000, man. 144,000 bricks are needed for this temple, man. And you cannot help us make any of them, man. Right? Read.
But we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel.
We together ourselves will build. You don't need to read the rest of that. We together ourselves will build, man.
Right.
We don't need the white man and his apologies. We don't even need him to give us back the artifacts, man. Because guess what? We're gonna waltz up in there with Yahawashi. What is this? What is this song go? When the saints come walking in, we're gonna walk in there and we're gonna cut the head off of the damn Pope, when that time comes, and take all those artifacts back, and it's gonna be with Hamashiach Yahawashi, man. Right. Give me what do I want? Give me Micah. Give me Micah 2 and 10. Right, because the theme here are people always trying to assimilate to this place, trying to make it so that we can rest in this place, find some kind of ease in this place, when this place is not meant to be our rest or our place of comfort for us, man. Right? When you read about in Deuteronomy 28, right? You should go into Egypt again with ships, right? The word was double straits, being between a rock and a hard place. That's where we are. That's not supposed to be comfortable. You're not supposed to be comfortable in this place, man. You got something?
No, go ahead. Then got that precept in Deuteronomy to find no ease.
Okay, read that. Slow. Go ahead.
Okay, Khan. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind.
And that's what the Gadite said, right? That this is going to bring up this trip brought about a lot of trauma and sorrow, right? At the same time, when they said after the apology uplifted them, but they said that trauma was brought back for many of them, right? And that's what we suffer here in America, in Canada, right? Nothing but sorrow and trauma, man. And this is not meant to be our rest. This is meant to be our affliction here, right? To get that in Micah.
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
Arise ye and depart. Now, does this mean go to down Africa? No, this doesn't mean. This means spiritually get your mind out of this place.
Right. For this is not your rest.
This is not your rest. This place that has your children's bones buried in it. This place where the blood of your people has been shed more than anywhere else in the world. This place where you were enslaved. Right? This place where you were forced to forget your culture and your heritage, this place can never be your rest. Right, Rick?
It shall because it is polluted.
Because it is what?
It is polluted.
We're gonna get back to that in momentarily, right, Rick?
It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
It shall destroy you. Because if you don't depart from this place spiritually, right, you will not be departing from this place physically when Yahawashi comes to save his elect. And you will be destroyed in this place. Right? But now dealing with the pollution. Right? Read that again.
Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Right?
Because it is polluted.
Because it is polluted. Now, what is it polluted with? The scriptures speak to this, right? Numbers 35.
Okay.
Right?
This is Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33.
Go ahead.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein you are.
Right, read.
For blood it defiled the land.
So the Most High God said, don't pollute the land. Right? And we know that Edomite is the number one polluter on the earth, man. In various ways. He pollutes physically with all his garbage, all his gas emissions, his oil spills, his forest fires, all of that. He pollutes like that. He pollutes spiritually and ideologically with his, various things that he pushes and teaches, right? White supremacy, right? The alphabet community, all of these various things. He pollutes spiritually, but there's a specific way this devil polluted this particular land, right?
For blood it defileth the land.
For blood it defiles the land. Go ahead.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
So the only way this place is going to be cleansed is by the blood of the so-called white man. Right? And that day is coming sooner than we think, man. We see all these things coming to pass. We see what looks to be the beginning of World War III. We see everything going up, all the prices going up, all hell is about to break loose, famine is about to start. Right, so we got to be girding ourselves and getting ready for that by coming back to the Most High, repenting, man. Right? Give me Revelation 13 and 10. Right?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So the Pope said he prays that the Lord forgives him, man. The Lord is not going to forgive you.
Right.
You are a part of a nation, an ethnicity, a people. Right? Again, never mind the Catholic Church. You are a part of a people group, a ethnicity, a nation that took an entire other nation into captivity.
Right.
Therefore,
he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Therefore, you and your people shall go into captivity. Thus saith the Lord, man. Right, read?
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
You must be killed with the sword, man. You and your people must be killed with the sword, and that's the Most High. Right, that's his word, and his word will stand. Right. So there's not going to be no forgiveness for you, right? Because the Most High said it. Right. But with that, we're going to segue into Jamaica, man. Right. I want to give Jamaica a round of applause. All praise to the Most High. It's a beautiful thing that's going on in the Caribbean islands. Jamaica not being the first one to do this, right? Barbados has also begun the process of getting rid of who we're going to call during this entire live stream the bitch, right? I will not be you. Oh yeah.
You want to see this?
Yeah, go ahead. Zoom in on that.
Look at that.
See that? That's one of the artifacts, right? That they had. See that right there, where the cursor is? Tell me that's not a lily, man. See that? But that's only one of the ones that they would let them see. There are hundreds upon thousands of artifacts that they would not let the Gadites see, man.
Right.
And this is just one of the ones that they did let them see. And you see that lily there, man. That's why I said, I think through the spirit, man, a lot of those artifacts are gonna prove that the North American Indians are the Gadites, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
This almost looks like the branch on the SICARI emblem. See
that?
See that?
Olive branch, man.
Yeah, man.
But let's get to Jamaica, man. Like I said, Jamaica is not the first Caribbean island. Barbados did it, but we're gonna speak on Jamaica because we are in the 6th, where the Benjamites of Jamaica, mostly dwell, man. There's one of the largest populations of Jamaicans in the world is here in Toronto. So we're gonna speak on this, man. Right? So you can start.
Hold on, how do I get rid of this? I'm gonna try to avoid this, but all right. So this is titled "Jamaica Moves to Drop Queen Elizabeth as Head of State." Report.
Right. So Jamaica is moving to drop the bitch as the head of state, right? We're gonna refer to her as the bitch.
Right.
Right. Now, before we start reading, get Deuteronomy. Give me Deuteronomy, because we gotta understand this is a law of God, man. Right? When you talk about sin, read what sin is. Right?
This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law.
So if you're committing sin, it's because you are transgressing the law. The so-called white man, right, in his Catholicism, his Christianity, all the time would have him reign over you, man.
Right.
Right? I forgot the brother's name, man. The idiot, the coon's name. Chief, no, not chief. It was Deacon and Assad and Sergeant going into it. Basically, the idiot was saying that you can't learn the Bible from churches in the hood. You got to go to the so-called white man.
J-Dub?
Yeah, K-Dub, whatever.
K-Dub,
that
something
idiot,
like that. Yeah,
right? But this is what they push, man. Not only nationalistically, but ideologically, your leader should always be a so-called white man. Understand, that's a sin against God, man.
Right.
Read that.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law.
Right, read.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
Sin is the transgression of the law, and the law is the first 5 books, what's known as the Torah, right? The book of Moses, right? So let's go to the books of Moses. Let's go to the Torah, God's holy and perfect law, man, and see what God said.
Right, Khan. And then it also says in Romans 3:20, it says, therefore by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in the sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin.
By law is the knowledge of sin, right? So you wouldn't know what sin is unless you know the Torah, unless you know the laws of God, right? But read King James first. Read 14 to 15.
So read
in the sword.
Yeah.
We'll get the other versions 15.
All right.
Right?
So Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15.
14.
Oh, Slagi. 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me.
Right.
Thou shalt set, Slagi. Verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren.
From among who?
From among thy brethren.
From among thy brethren, read.
Shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Which is not thy brother. Right? Now, who's thy brother? Right? Let's get other translations, man. Right?
All right. So which one you want?
Start at NIV.
All right. Here's NIV. It says, but be sure to appoint over you a king, for the Lord your God chooses. He must be from among your fellow Israelites.
From your fellow who?
From your fellow Israelites.
So now this is who your brother is.
Right.
An Israelite.
Right.
Not anyone else. Right? I don't care if Hulk Hogan wants to go around calling everyone brother. Right? Your brother is an Israelite.
That's right.
Right? Read.
Do not place a foreigner over you.
Do not place a foreigner over you, man. Right? And this bitch is a foreigner.
Right.
To the tribe of Benjamin, man. Banyamya. To the Jamaican, man. To all the people in the Caribbean islands. This bitch is over Canada too, man. So she's a foreigner to the Gadat as well.
That's right.
Right? Hit the ESV. Right?
ESV says, you may indeed set a king over you, whom the Lord your God will choose. One from among your brothers. You shall not set a king over you, Oh, sorry, let me read that again. One from among your brothers you shall not set as king over you. You may not put a foreigner over you who is not your brother.
Right. So these people, they're not our brothers, they're not our peoples, and it is against God's holy, righteous, perfect law for us to have these people over us, man. And if you want them over you and you try to set them over you, or you set them over you, you are a filthy, disgusting sinner, man.
Right.
Right. And you have your father, the devil, man. Right. So go back to the article and read that.
So, Slacking for this part, just bear with me. I'm gonna try to ignore it. It says Prince William and Kate Middleton's royal tour of the Caribbean in celebration of Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee continues to encounter resistance.
Right. Platinum Jubilee meaning she's been in her reign for 70 years. Right. Read.
Yeah. Encounter resistance as a movement to remove the monarch as head of state of Jamaica is reportedly gaining traction.
It's gaining traction, meaning there's a lot of people that want this done, man. Right? Give me Obadiah. Give me Obadiah. Let me see. What do I want? Just like you know, in these last days, man, people are fed up with the
Esau's falling, man.
Read 2.
So.
Or just read 1 and 2.
This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2, or verse 1 and 2. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God, concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Right, go ahead.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
I have made thee small among the heathen. Read.
Thou art greatly despised.
And that's the so-called Edomites in these last days, man. They are greatly despised. People are tired of the white man's shit, man. Right? Even the white man is tired of the white man's shit, man. Right? Shout out to Pooh Shiesty, man. Putin Shiesty.
The horns will hate the whore.
Right? The horns are getting ready to hate this hole, man. This hole. Right? We're not talking about the queen. We're talking about Babylon. Right? You know, to hell with this hole too. Right? But go back to the article. That's it on that.
So the Platinum Jubilee continues to encounter resistance as a movement to remove the monarch as head of state. Jamaica is reportedly gaining traction. According to the Independent, a coalition of Jamaican politicians, business leaders, doctors, and musicians are pressing for the country to formally sever ties with the monarchy and change the country's status from a constitutional monarchy to a republic. The coalition has also sent an open letter to Prince William and Kate Middleton, who landed in Jamaica Tuesday afternoon. Ahead of the island nation's 60th year of independence from Great Britain on August 6th, campaigners are intent on removing the shackles of Jamaica's colonial past.
Removing the what?
Removing the shackles of Jamaica's colonial past. According to the report, with many in the country demanding both financial reparations and a formal apology from the monarchy.
See, here it is again, where our people, right, understand this one, and I say this a lot, I say it a lot at camp too, right? Every finite fiat dollar that you Edomites have, you could put it all together, man, trillions upon trillions of dollars. It would not equal up to the most downtrodden, hobo, homeless, crack fiend, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. One drop of that blood, man. It will not equal to that, man. It's not worth it, right? It's not gonna do nothing. And again, you heard me how you heard how I felt about the apology, man. That doesn't mean a goddamn thing. What we need. Right, the brothers are talking about removing the shackles. We need to remove the shackles off us and put them on you.
Right.
Then we can talk about, being better. Right. We need to, like we read Numbers 35, man. Your blood needs to be shed for shedding our blood.
Yep.
Right. Well, go ahead.
The royals have encountered the calls for separation firsthand on this visit, canceling one event in Belize over the weekend amid protests.
See that? Another nation that is moving to get these people out of their business, man. Out from their head of state. Belize as well, man. Shout out to Belize, man.
Right.
To the tribe of Zebulun and Benjamin living in that land too, man. Right, go ahead.
More demonstrations are expected in Jamaica in the coming days, including one on Tuesday in the capital city of Kingston, organized by the Advocates Network, a human rights coalition of Jamaica activists and equalities organizations. Look at them, man. Devils. The week-long tour of the Caribbean was intended to have a festive mood.
Right? So they wanted to just go over there and have a party, man. They just wanted to go party it up, man. They wanted to go to Carnival, man. Right? Caravana type things. Right? That's what they wanted.
Could you imagine, invading one nation, just rape, robbing, murder them, and then to celebrate, you just go on the land and just party and just
send my kids over there to go party, man. And it's supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be happy about it. This is who we're dealing with, man.
This is unbelievable.
This is the pride of these devils, man. What's like? Go ahead.
The festive mood in the months. Start from again. The week-long tour of the Caribbean was intended to have a festive mood in the months between when monarch marks 70 years on the throne in February and when her official jubilee begins in June. A fact pointedly referenced by Jamaican leaders in their open letter. According to an early report by the Independent, the letter read in part, "We see no reason to celebrate 70 years of your ascension."
Right. So this is the Benjamites talking to the bitch. Right.
Right.
Read that again.
We see no reason.
We see no reason.
Right.
Now here they're in the spirit. Right. Read.
We see no reason to celebrate 70 years of the ascension of your grandmother to the British throne because her leadership and that of her predecessors has perpetrated the greatest human rights tragedy in the history of mankind.
And God damn it, they're right, man. The transatlantic slave trade, right, going both ways, was the greatest human rights tragedy in the history of humankind, man. Right? To hell with what happened to the damn Jewish man. To hell with what the hell is happening in Ukraine right now. To hell with what the hell happened anywhere else on this planet, man. What happened over here in the Western Hemisphere, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that is the biggest tragedy to ever happen on the face of this earth.
Right.
Right? You got something?
Yeah, just something that came to mind through the Spirit. Isaiah 10:13, it says, "For he saith, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have robbed their treasures, and have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man." So sounds like he's just like, yo, I've done it. I've removed their bounds. I've robbed them. And he's just boasting about it. And that's literally what, they're trying to do. Come over here.
She's trying to celebrate.
Have a celebration.
Have a celebration. It's a celebration. Right?
She's
and talking about the riches. We just saw about the artifacts they stole from the Gadites. Right? Parading it around.
That's crazy.
Not even to give it back, man.
That's crazy.
But give me Daniel 9:12, right? Because they said it's the most horrible thing, the biggest tragedy in the history of humankind, and they're right, and the Bible speaks about it, man.
Wow.
Right? Read.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 12, and it reads, "And he has confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil."
A great evil, right? Read that part again.
"And he has confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil."
What's the bitch?
Right, a great evil.
What's the Pope?
A great evil.
What is the so-called white man, woman, and child?
A great evil.
And that's what the Lord brought upon us because of our sin, man.
Right.
Right, read.
"For under the whole heaven has not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem."
On this whole earth, it has never been done like it's been done to us, man. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's Jerusalem. Right. It's never been done like that.
Right.
You've never seen a people stolen from one continent and brought to another, stripped of their nationality, stripped of the knowledge of self, of who they are, their culture, their language, their name. You've never seen that happen, man.
Right.
You want to talk about the damn East Indian went into slavery, the Irish man had to pick potatoes in slavery. They still know they're Irish and Indian, man.
Right.
They said the Indians still know they worship that damn four-armed damn elephant, man, and the blue bitch. Right? They know this, right? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we worship some white boy, man, that had sex with his sister, right?
God.
It has not been done like it's been done to us, man. And that's how you know we're the Israelites, man. Give me Isaiah 49:23.
God, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 49, verse 23. "And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and the queens thy nursing mothers."
And understand this. This is going to be our jubilee. This is going to be our celebration.
Right.
When you people are our nursing mothers, man, and nursing fathers, right? I pray the bitch doesn't die before it happens, man.
God.
Right, Rick?
"Queens thy nursing mothers, They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth.
This bitch, she and her children, right? Those two that were there. What's his face? William and Kate or whatever.
Yeah.
They will bow down to us with their face towards the earth. Read.
And lick up the dust of thy feet.
Right. We do this right now with the base bottom Edomites, which it is what it is, right? But it's gonna be so much greater and so much sweeter when we have princes and kings and queens doing it, man. Right, Reed?
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
So we will not be ashamed, man.
Yeah.
You saw you damn Benjamites that are waiting for some money and an apology, you're gonna be put to shame. Just like the Gadites were put to shame that went over there, asked for their artifacts back, and just got walked around and shown not even all the artifacts, and then just got an empty apology, man. That's a shame. That's shameful. But those who wait on the Lord, those who keep the works in the faith, they will not be ashamed, man. Right? Give me Psalm 149 and 5. We'll close out on that. Right?
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 149 and verse 5.
Let me read tonight.
It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
Let the saints, right? Now, the queen, the bitch, right? She's Catholic. Her family's Catholic, right? The Pope, of course, Catholic, right? They all deal with saints. They pray to saints and worship saints, right? But the saints that are being spoken of in the scripture are not the same saints that these people are accustomed to. They're not touching little boys. They're not doing none of that, man, right? Let's see what they are doing, read.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand.
They got a two-edged sword in their hand. Ooh-wee. For what?
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
No, like the Pope said, I pray the Lord forgives us.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
Vengeance is coming upon the heathen. And these people, they're heathens, man. The bitch is a heathen. The Pope is a heathen. Their kid that came to party it up in the Caribbean islands, they're heathens. Right? And a sword of vengeance is prepared for them, man. Right, Reed?
And punishment upon the people. To bind their kings with chains.
To bind their what?
To bind their kings with chains.
Right, queens included. Reed.
Right. And their nobles with fetters of iron.
Right.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
The judgment written. This judgment has been written. Right? And for the damn Pope, this has been written and has been under your damn nose since you were born, man. Under all our noses since we were born. Your judgment has been written. Right, Reed?
This honor have all his saints.
This honor have all the saints. To put chains on the heathen and on the kings and the nobles of the heathen, and to have a double-edged sword to execute vengeance, man. That's that Revelation 13 and 10. Right? Captivity and slaughter, man. Killing. Right? Read that, finish that up, Slaki.
Oh, it said, praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Lord. We praise YAHAWASHI for it, man. Right, but once again, I just want to give the Benjamites a hand, man. Right, for at least trying to keep that law of God, taking the bitch out of there and putting their own people up over them, man. Right. But with that, that's gonna be it. Brothers and sisters have questions, right? We will start answering questions, not right now, but put your questions in the comment section, not the live chat. Put in the comment section, and we'll answer the questions next time we go live. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, will be next Saturday night. Another installment of, SICARI Saturday night scripts in the 6, man. Lord willing, we get to do this every week. But with that, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahawashai. Shalom.
Shalom.